Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is a small flower square. I actually designed this because I wanted to have something to hang off of my coffee tumbler that my husband bought me. And so I thought, well, I'm going to come up with a little design, which I actually haven't made the one that I want to hang on my cup yet. But so I sat down, I'm losing my train of thought. I sat down and I whipped up this little design, and I thought this is going to be perfect for a tutorial for you guys. And you guys can use these for whatever you want to. You can gift them in a card. You can you make them out of cotton and have a hot pad, or you can make them out of cotton and have a coaster. You can make a bunch and sew together for a blanket, a baby blanket. A lot of things, like some of the tutorials I've done where I've made these squares, I've actually sewn them together and made little dust covers for things that I like to keep covered and not get dusty. Anyway. Okay, so let's just go ahead and talk about what you're going to need. So you guys can use any yarn you want to use. Doesn't matter. I made that out of embroidery floss. This is size 3 yarn, and these are size 4. This is size 4 with a 4mm hook, and this is a 5mm hook. This is what we actually make on the tutorial today. So you guys get whatever yarn you want to use, and then you can just use the hook that yarn recommends, or use what you want to use. It's up to you. Do what you want to do. Nobody's here to tell you to not do that. So go ahead and get your yarn and your hook. So you can tell, so this one I have 3 different colors, and this one I did, these two I did the very last round in a different color. So it's totally up to you. You could do this all in one color or do every round in a different color. It's up to you. So get your yarn, get the hook that you want to use. So I used a 5mm with a 4-weight yarn, and that block measures right at 5 by 5. And then I do recommend a stitch marker or something to mark a stitch, just because there are times that it's a little easy to get lost in your stitches. And then, of course, you know, your scissors, your needle to weave in your end. And depending on your tension, depending on the yarn you're using, the hook you're using with that yarn, you may need to just hit this with a little bit of water and some steam, just to get it to lay the way you want it to lay, nice and flat and pretty. Or you may not need to. Like on this one, I didn't need to, but on this one, I did give it a good stretch, and I always say I like to give it the what for. Tell it, this is the way I want you to lay, so you will lay this way. But yeah, so super easy tutorial. Get your guys' supplies together, and let's get started. I'm ready. All right, so to get started, we are going to move my camera first. There, that should be better. Get a slip knot on our hook. And as always, make sure you have plenty of tail to weave in. And we're going to start with a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring that down, and we're going to slip stitch to that first chain to create a loop, or a ring, I should say. And then go ahead and chain 1. So we slip stitched into this first chain 1, and I'm going to pull that tail tight to close up that first chain. And we are going to half double crochet right back into that ring. Now if you have a hard time finding the top of your half doubles, I would suggest to mark it with a stitch marker. So I am going to go ahead and just run that stitch marker through the top of that half double so I don't lose it, okay? I got pin on my finger. All right. So we've got 1 half double into that ring, chain 1, half double right back into that ring again. And we're going to repeat that half double chain 1, half double chain 1 until we have 8 chain 1 spaces. So we have 1, So there's 2, half double, chain 1, there's 3, half double, chain 1, 4, chain 1, there's 5, half double, chain 1, that's 6 chain 1s, half double, chain 1, there's 7, half double, chain 1, and there's 8 chain 1 spaces. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and slip stitch to that first half double, right in there. I'm going to pull that just a tad bit. I'll take care of that in a little bit. But now we're going to go ahead and slip stitch into the chain 1 space. Just like that. All right, so to move on to round 2, we're going to chain 1. And we're going to work 2 single crochet into the chain 1 space that we just slip stitched into. So go right back in there with 1 and 2. And I am going to mark that first single crochet, and that's what we're going to repeat all the way around. 2 single into each chain 1 space. So at the end of round 2, we should have 16 single crochets. Here, pull them apart if you need to be able to see the little holes. One more right there. And now I know it looks like a bit of a, get out of there. It looks like a bit of a stretch to get back to that first single. So if you want to, if you are questioning at all how many single crochets you have, go ahead and stop and count. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 16. So we're going to go ahead and slip stitch to that first single crochet. Right in there. And that is the end of round 2. And now if you want to change colors, we're going to chain 1 and pull up a loop. And cut, pull that tail out, and then I'll weave in these ends in a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to move on to our petal color, or you guys can stay at the same color. If you're not changing color, then just stay slip stitched into that chain or that single crochet. If you are changing colors, get your new color. Get a slip knot on your hook. Make sure you got plenty of tail to weave in. And we're going to go right back into that single crochet that we just slip stitched into. Right back in there. No, church. Nope. Slip stitch right back in there. Pull that tail, tighten down that slip stitch, and we're going to chain 3. So if you didn't change colors, go ahead and chain 3. Oh, church. Sorry about that. All right, so I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, and now back into this single crochet, we're going to work a beginning cluster, which all that is so for the petals are actually 5 treble clusters, but this beginning one, that chain 3, is going to count as 1 already, so we're only going to work 4 into this chain 1, or the single crochet. So to do that, we're going to yarn over twice, go right back into that single, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So stop. Now we're going to yarn over twice again, go right back in there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Do it again, yarn over twice, go right back in there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have a chain 3 and 1, 2, 3 beginning post of trebles, but we need 4 to make this a whole, the whole set for the 5. So one more time, yarn over twice, go right back in there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we're going to count that chain 3 as a beginning post. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beginning trebles. So we should have 3, 4, 5 loops on our hook. So to finish off the cluster, we're going to yarn over and pull through all 5. Okay, so now we're at chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I suggest working that chain 4 on the looser side. If you work it real tight, it wants to bunch up and it just doesn't look right. So work that chain 4 loosely. We're going to skip the next single, and into that next single we're going to work the 5 treble cluster. So basically we're doing the exact same thing, we're just doing it 5 times. We just don't have that chain 3. Alright, so we are going to yarn over twice, skip that next single, into that next single, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 1. Yarn over twice, go back in there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. There's 2. Yarn over twice, go back in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. There's 3. Yarn over twice, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. There's 4. We need 1 more. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So there's 5 beginning trebles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now with this 5 treble cluster and the rest of the 5 treble clusters, we're going to have 6 loops on our hook. And the reason this one didn't have 6 is just because that chain 3. So this first one and the rest of them, we're going to have 6 loops on our hook. Okay, so now we're going to yarn over, pull through all 6, chain 1, 2, 3, 4 loosely. I couldn't get it that loose, I didn't have any slack. Okay, so that is what we're going to repeat around. And we're going to end, Churchy's laying on all my stuff, we're going to end with 8 cluster petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So to do that again, we're going to skip the next single, into the next single with the 5 treble cluster. 2, 3. I split my yarn, but that's all right. It's not going to hurt nothing. There's 4. 1 more, get out of there, is 5. And we should have 3 and 3. That's where I split it, no big deal. 6 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 6, loosely, chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip the next single, repeat that again. So I'm going to let you guys work that, and I'm going to get mine done off camera, and I will come back when I'm starting the last 5 treble cluster, okay? So I will be right back. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 5 treble clusters, and I have 1, 2, 3 single crochets left. Now right here, I know that can get a little confusing. That's actually the slip stitch and the chain 1 that we ended round 2 with. So I know it looks like there's another stitch there, but there's not. There's only 3 single crochets left, okay? So I'm going to skip the next single, into the next with my last 5 treble cluster. Ay, get out of there. Three, 4, and 5. 3 loops for 6. Yarn over, pull through all 6, and loosely chain 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so to end round 3, we are going to come all the way around to the first chain 4 space. We're not going to slip stitch into the chain 3 or the top of the cluster. We're going to go right into that very first chain 4 space. Just like that. And I want to show you guys why we come all the way over there. So if we slip stitch into the top of that cluster, like not into that chain 3, but the very top of that cluster, look how big of a space it leaves between the first and the last cluster. Looks weird, don't it? But if you come all the way to that first chain 4 space, right in there, and slip stitch, and lay it down, see how much less of a gap there is between the first and the last. And then once we work our stitches into it, you won't even be able to tell. Okay, so slip stitch in there, and that is the end of 1, 2, 3. Turn my notepad. We are going to chain 1, which I already did that. So slip stitch to that first chain 4 space, chain 1, pull up a loop, and then we're going to cut. And I'm going to grab my next color. Get a slip knot on my hook. Plenty of tail. And into any of the chain 4 spaces, it doesn't matter which one. If you're not changing color, then you're perfectly fine. Stay in that chain 4 space. I'm going to come to the opposite side, and I'm going to go in and attach with a slip stitch and chain 1. So if you didn't change colors, just chain 1, and we're going to go right back into that same chain 4 space with 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2, and I'm going to go ahead and mark my first single. I'm actually going to get my stitch markers yellow, so I'm going to get a different color one. I'm going to go with this maroon one. Mark that first single. All right, I need some slack. I did a really odd color choice, didn't I? Okay, I'm going to scooch those to the side. All right, so into the single crochet that we skipped in between your petals from round 2, we are going to work a treble in front of our petals. So what I mean is we're going to come down into that single crochet that's between our petals. I'm going to insert my hook, and I'm going to put everything to the back of what I'm getting ready to work. So basically I just fold it down. Insert my hook into the top of that single, and then just fold everything down. And I'm going to work a treble. Just like that. And I'm going to bring that chain 4 back up and work 2 single crochets into there. So just like that. And then what we're going to do is chain 1 and jump over the top of that cluster to the next chain 4 space. And we're going to repeat the same thing. 2 singles, treble into the single from round 2 between your petals, working in front of everything. So I'm going to insert my hook and then push all that to the back and work my treble. Bring everything back up and work 2 single crochet into that same chain 4 space. Chain 1, jump over the top of that cluster to the next chain 4 space and work 2 single crochets. Treble into that single that we skipped. So insert your hook and then bring it to the front and fold all of that to the back and work your treble. Bring everything back up and 2 single crochet. Chain 1, jump across that cluster to the next chain 4, work your 2 single, and working in front of all of your work, treble into the skip single crochet, I lost my yarn over, into the skip single crochet from round 2. So insert your hook and then just push everything to the back and work your treble. Bring everything back up and work 2 single crochet into that same chain 4 space. Chain 1, jump across the cluster to your next chain 4, 2 single, get your tail out of the way. There's a single crochet we skipped. So working in front of everything, I'm just going to insert my hook into the top of that single, bring it to the front, fold everything back, and work my treble. Bring everything back up, 2 single crochet into the same chain 4 space. Chain 1, jump across the top of the cluster to the next chain 4, 2 single, treble into the skipped single, and working in front of all of your work, work the treble into the skipped single that I lost a yarn over somewhere. Redo that. Bring it to the front, fold everything back. Bring that back up, 2 single. Chain 1, jump across that cluster, next chain 4, 2 single, treble into the skip single, bring it to the front, just like that. Bring it all back up, 2 single, right back into that same chain 4. Chain 1, jump to your last chain 4 space, work your 2 single crochet, come down and treble into that single that we skipped from round 2. Get in there. Bring everything back up, 2 single crochet into your same chain 4. Chain 1, jump across the top of that cluster, and we are going to slip stitch into the very first single crochet of our round. Just like that. And that is round 4. All right, so to start round 5, I'm going to stay with my same color. I'm actually, well, I haven't decided yet. So you can see how on this one, how I've worked the very last round of the block in a different color, but then on this one, I kept them the same. I think I'm going to work, let's see, that's round 4. I think I'm going to work round 5 in the yellow, and then the very last round, round 6, I'm going to work in a different color. All right, so what I'm going to do now to start round 5, we're going to chain 1. That's round 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, round 5. Okay. We are going to double crochet into the exact same single crochet we just slip stitched into. So go ahead and go right in there with a double. Okay, so if you did change color, so cat hair. if you didn't change color, just go ahead, just hold on just a second. If you did change color, slip stitch to that single crochet, chain 1, cut, fasten off, get your new color on your hook with a slip stitch, go right back into that same single crochet that you just slip stitched into, okay? And then slip stitch to attach it, chain 1, and then work a double crochet into the same single that you just attached into, okay? All right, so we have all of us are together now. If we change color or not, we have 1 double crochet. We're going to double crochet into the next single, and now we're to our treble, and the top of our treble always sets, like the top of your stitch always sets slightly to the right of the post of your stitch. So I don't have a needle. So if you hold your work, right here is the post of our treble, and slightly to the right, that's the top of our stitch right there. All right, same thing with the single. So here is the legs of our single crochet. There's a tiny little post in there that you're not going to be able to see, but slightly to the right is the top of that single, okay? So we are to the half double, or I'm sorry, half double, jeez. We are slightly, oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. We have made it to the treble crochet, and into the top of that treble, we're going to work a double, a treble, a chain 1, a treble, and a double, okay? So yarn over for our double, go right back in there with a treble, or I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. I forgot I changed this and I didn't write it down. I did. Look, I did write it down. We are not going to do a treble. I'm sorry. We are going to do extended double crochets because trebles were just a tad bit too tall. So we're going to do extended doubles. So how you work an extended double crochet is you just yarn over, go in, insert your hook, pull up a loop. And for a normal double, you would yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, right? But we are going to yarn over, go in, pull up a loop. We're going to yarn over, pull through 1, and then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So it gives us just a tad bit of height. Like I said, that extended double is just a little too tall. It looks a little funny whenever I was working my practices. They were just a little too tall, and see the gap it puts between them? So I thought, I think the extended is going to look a little bit better. So I'm sorry, I messed that up. We're going to work a double, an extended double, chain 1, extended double, double into that treble. So we've got our double, extended, chain 1, scooch that over, yarn over, go back in there, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, and now we yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And now we're going to go right back in there with 1 double. So now we have created our first corner. Just like that. Okay? All right. So now we are going to double into the next 2 single crochets. Double and double. And now we're to the chain 1 space. We are going to half double crochet into that chain 1 space. And I want you to half double crochet into the next 2 singles. 1 and 2. Chain 1, and we're going to jump across that treble. Into the next 2 singles, we're going to half double crochet. 1 and 2. Half double into the next chain 1 space. And now we're going to double into the next 2 single crochets. And we are back, well, we're not back. We are to the treble where we're going to create our next corner. So into the top of that treble, we're going to work the same thing. The double, extended double. So again, we yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Chain 1, scooch that over, go right back in there. I have a churchy hair. Go right back in there with another extended. Yarn over, pull through 1, and now we yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And for the last one of the corner, just a double, just like that. So now, I'll lay this out. You can see we have our 2 corners. So we have the corner into 1 treble, skip 1 treble, corner. So we're going to skip this treble, corner, skip this treble, corner, skip this treble, back to the beginning. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to repeat what we did. Double into the next 2 single crochet, half double into that chain 1, half double into the next 2 single, chain 1 and jump across that treble, half double into the next 2 single, half double into the chain 1 space right there, double into the next 2 single, and here's our next corner. So I'm going to let you guys work that part off camera, and I will come back on this next corner, okay? So I will be right back. And I'm going to do the most of this round with you. I'm just going to give you, let you do this part off camera. I'll come back on the corner. I'll tell you what to do for this next part. I'll come back on the corner. Tell you what to do on this next part. I'll come back at the end, okay? Just to try to keep this video from being like an hour long. All right, so I'm going to get mine done, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have made it to the next treble. I worked my side right there. So again, into the treble with a double, extended double, yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. Go ahead and chain 1. Go right back in there with another extended, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, and go back in there one more time with the double, just like that. All right, double into the next 2 single, double into, or I'm sorry, half double into that chain 1 space, half double into the next 2 single crochet. I know I said I was going to let you guys do this off camera, but I'm going to go ahead and just do it. I'm going to get it done just as fast either way. All right, chain 1, jump across that treble, half double into the next 2 singles, half double into the chain 1 space, double into the next 2 single crochets. And we've made it to our next treble. That's our corner, our 3rd corner. No, 4th. 1, 2, 3. It's our 4th. All right, and our last. So, sorry. After I said that, I was like, duh. Okay, so into that treble, we're going to work a double, extended double, pull through 1, pull through 2, pull through 2, chain 1, extended double again, pull through 1, then 2, then 2. And we're going to go right back in there with another double. And that is our last corner. So to work our way back to our first stitch of the round, we are going to double into the next 2 single crochets, into the chain 1 with a half double into the next 2 singles, oops, chain 1, jump across that treble, half double into the next 2 single, and we have that chain 1 space that we half double crochet into, and we slip stitch to the top of our first double crochet. So if you look, you can see right here, which is a little harder to see with this yellow yarn, but right there is the bar of our slip stitch. Right here, see that little V right there? That's the chain 1, and follow your post up, tad bit to the right is the top of that first double, and that's what we're going to slip stitch right into. Chain 1, pull up a loop, and if you are not changing color, just go ahead and hold on just a second. If you are, cut. And I always like to, well, depending on the project, so for instance this has a front and a back, I always like to pull that, well, let me rephrase that. On projects that have a front and a back, I like to pull the tail to the back, and it'll pull that slip knot to the back too, giving you more of a straighter edge. Anyway, okay, so I am actually, believe it or not, I am not ready. Shocking, right? I'm gonna go pick out a color to work my last round, and I think I'm gonna go with an orange. So I'm gonna go grab some orange yarn and I'll be right back. Okay, so for my last round, I'm gonna go with this crazy orange. So I'm gonna get a slip knot on my hook. As always, plenty of tail to weave in, and I'm gonna attach anywhere, doesn't matter where. I'm actually gonna go away from my slip knot, and I'm gonna come on the opposite side. I'm just gonna go into a stitch, doesn't matter which one. Attach with a slip stitch, pull that tail, chain 1. And if you didn't change color, just stay right in that stitch that you slip stitched into, chain 1, single crochet into the same stitch that you attached into, and single crochet into each stitch until the chain 1 of the corner. And into the chain 1, we're going to work 1 single, chain 2, 1 single. Get out of there. And now we just single into each stitch until the next corner, the next chain 1 of the corner. So this round's pretty easy. I do like to work this round a little on the looser side, just to, you know, give the block some room. And into the chain 1 space, I'm just going to go right into the chain 1. And don't forget, the top of that half double after the chain 1 is always just a tad bit to the right. So it looks, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump my camera. So it looks like there, you know, there's nothing there. But if you follow that post up just to the right, right there's the top of that half double. I always find the top of half doubles to be the hardest to see, because see how far that the top stretches? Right here is the top of that half double. So don't forget that. Work into your single, or I mean your chain 1 space. You don't have to go into the actual chain 1. And don't forget that half double. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this corner, and then I'm going to stop and tell you how many single crochet I have across one side, and that's what you should have on each side. Ah, that was not pretty. Okay, so into the chain one corner, one single, and that single will go to this side, chain two, single, and that single will go to this side. So each side, when you're done, should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 single on each side of your square. Okay? All right, get back on here. So I'm going to let you guys finish that, and I'm going to get mine done off camera. Don't forget your chain one space and then the half double after the chain one, which is a little bit of a bear to see. And you should have 17 single crochets on each side. Now that's including the 2 into the chain one corner. So here's the chain one space. There's the top of my half double. All right. So you guys go ahead and get that done. And don't forget to work into the same one that you slip stitched into. See if you see the top of it. Pull that slip stitch to the side right there. And if you get confused, just count how many single crochets you have. And if you're off by one, you know, adjust accordingly. Anywho, all right. I will get mine done and I'll be right back. Okay, Churchy here. I've worked that all the way around. And I am going to finish the round by slip stitching to the first single right here. That's the chain one. The slip stitch is real tight down there. So I'm going to go right into the top of that first single with the slip stitch, chain one, pull up a loop, cut, and again I'm going to pull that to the back just like that. All right. So we are done. That is just a quick and simple little block. You can steam block it if you want to. And if you made this with cotton yarn for a little coaster, you can use an iron and just set your iron on there on the back. I wouldn't do it on the front. Just do it on the back to get that to lay nice and pretty and straight. And there you guys go. Something simple, quick. That green right there. That looks like that because I haven't weaved in the tail yet. There, that's better. All right, so I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't, because I've got a whole bunch more stuff coming. And leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys thought about this tutorial. And check out the description box. I got links down there for you guys. And I want to say, I know I am so behind on writing patterns. They are coming. I promise. I'm getting them done. It's just, it takes a really long time. All right, that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.